YOLO everyone, so welcome to YOLO Learning. This is a skill 2 special angles. This is easy but critical, so please pay attention to this very carefully. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. I will answer as much as I can. Subscription, like, and notification is always appreciated. So let's begin. Hope your skill 1, the ambiguous case of a sine law, was okay. So just need to remember those two cases, and the second case has a subdivision case of 3. As long as you do understand, it should be okay. For the skill 2 is a special triangles. Now this is something that requires some memorization, but I will tell you the easy way that you can actually use to memorize it. Now there are two ways of doing this. One is using the actual triangle, the other one is using the chart. So let's take a look at it. For the special angles, what's so special about it is that you can actually put the ratio of these angles in sine, cosine, and tangent in a exact value rather than a irrational number, which is we don't even know whether there's an end to it. The rational number is something that you can represent in a fraction. Irrational is something that you can't. So these three angles are quite popular and it is actually used in real life. So let's take a look at this one. So the first one is 45 degrees special triangle. These two triangles are all right angle triangles, by the way. So one of the internal angle is 45. Obviously the other one is 45 degrees. Then the side length of the bottom is 1 and the side is also 1. Now again, the internal angles are the same. That means it is an isosceles triangle. That's why these two sides are equal to each other. Using Pythagorean theorem, your hypotenuse is going to be square root of 2. Whereas the 30 degrees and 60 degrees triangle is then where the smaller angle is 30 degrees, which is the smaller side's opposite angle. Remember, smaller angle means a smaller opening, therefore smaller side. Larger angle means a larger opening, therefore it's a larger side. Think of it as pizza slices when you're slicing them up, right? If the tip of the pizza is small, then your arch at the end or the crust at the end is actually small compared to, let's say, your friend's whose tip is actually wider, which will give you a larger piece. So this is 30, this is 60, since that's the opposite angle of the longer side in this triangle. The shorter side is 1, the hypotenuse is 2, and using the Pythagorean theorem, the opposite side of the 60 degrees is square root of 3. Now using sine, cosine, and tangent ratio, you can simply use these two triangles to figure out. However, I was not really good at memorizing just randomly. I always mix things up. So what I came up with when I was in high school was this actually pattern. So the chart was the only thing to remember of, and that is actually not really confusing because the only thing that I have to remember of was then the angles. So 0, 30, 45, 60, and then 90. So 0 to 90, and then the middle ones start from 30 going up by 15 degrees each time. Then sine, cosine, tangent. Now for the chart-wise, all you have to do is you have to put the fractions. They are all fractions, so fraction bar throughout sine and cosine. And the bottom is then all 2. Then the top is square root throughout, and this is the key. Your sine starts from 0. As you count the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, if you're confused whether you start from 1 or 0, think of it as your angle starts from 0. So then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it goes up by 1 each time. For the cosine, you now come backwards. So instead of starting from 0, you actually end from 0, end at 0, and then go backwards. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Now all you have to do is to simplify each. So square root of 0 is 0. So 0 over 2 is then obviously 0. Square root of 1 is 1. So it is 1 over 2. Square root of 2 over 2, time to time, you will see it as 1 over square root of 2. So it is better for you to remember these two. Square root of 3 over 2, we cannot really simplify that. So we just keep it. Now square root of 4 is 2, and then because of that it is 2 over 2, therefore it is 1. Now do we need to calculate cosine? No, not really, because it is the backward order of the sine. So we all just go 1 square root of 3 over 2, and then 1 over square root of 2, 1 over 2, and then 0. Now hopefully you see, right? It's 0, 1 over 2, 1 over square root of 2, square root of 3 over 2, 1, and then it goes backwards, right? 0, 1 over 2, 1 over square root of 2, 3, square root of 3 over 2, and then 1. So that's that's the backwards order of it. Then the tangent is also simple. It's just the sine's numerator divided by the cosine's numerator. If you get confused which one over which one, well, even in the chart, sine is actually over cosine. Then for the tangent, it is 0 over 1, which is then 0. Next one is 1 over square root of 3, right? 1 over square root of 3. Using rationalization, this is square root of 3 over 3 as well. Next one is 1 over 1, which is just 1. Then for 60 degrees for tangent, square root of 3 over 1, so it is just a square root of 3. Again, it is numerator of sine divided by numerator of cosine. Then next one is 1 over 0. Anything divided by 0 is undefined, so I will just put undefined. That's how I remember. Then this is how I still do in my head as well. So 0, 1 over 2, 1 over square root of 2 or square root of 2 over 2, square root of 3 over 2, and then 1. And then the other one is just go backwards. Once you fill that out, then tangent is basically sine over cosine.
A few moments later.
So let's take a look at how this type of chart is used in the question. So the MPC1, determine the exact value, meaning do not use decimals. Okay, if it is a decimal where it ends as a 0.5, for example 1 over 2, then that's okay. But if you have 1 over 3, then you cannot just put 0.3, since the exact value of 1 over 3 is not just a 0.3 with a 1 3, it's a 3 all the way, right? So be really careful with this, and whenever this type of question appears, you are basically asked to use these special angles, and most of the time in the junior level, these special angles will be used. In the senior level, it's a slightly different story, but we're going to get to that way later. So then, the first one, if we see the sine 45, if you take a look at sine 45, so 45 is the third one, 0, 30, and 45, so that means it's 0, 1, and 2. Therefore, it is then square root of 2 over 2. Now, 45 again is in the middle, which is the third one, so it is the same as the sine 45, because you have to count from 4, 3, and 2. So square root of 2 over 2 for the cosine 45 as well. Now, sine 30, so sine starts from 0, but 30 is the second angle, right? 0, 30, 45, 60, 90. Therefore, it is going to be 1 over 2. Sine 60 is the fourth angle, so 0, 1, 2, 3. That's the fourth one. Therefore, square root of 3 over 2. If not having square root confuses you a bit, then just put the square root. That's fine. It's not going to hurt you, okay? But we do know that square root of 1 is just 1, and that's why we don't write it. So when you calculate this becomes very simple and easy. The top by top, so it will be square root of 4 over 4, then plus the square root of 3 over 4. And there are two ways of representing this final answer is as a simplified version, which will be square root of 4 plus square root of 3 over 4. But we know square root of 4 is 2, so it will be 2 plus the square root of 3 over 4. Or you can just simplify the first fraction, because it is 2 over 4 plus square root of 3 over 4, and that is just 1 over 2 plus the square root of 3 over 4. As a teacher personally, which one do I prefer? Or as a person who's been through this type of things till wherever I could, I do prefer this. Now then, the MPC2, determine the exact value of this. I want you to pause the video and do this on your own.
A few moments later.
If you take a look at this, sine 60, 60 is the fourth angle, therefore it is 0, 1, 2, 3, so it is a square root of 3 over 2. Tangent 45 is in the middle. Then remember sine 45, cosine 45, they are the same because it's both 0, 1, 2 or 4, 3, 2, so it is then 1 minus tangent 0 is a 0 based on the chart, and cos of 60 is 4, 3, 2, 1. So it is 1 over 2 over cos 30. 30 is the second angle, therefore it is 4, 3. So it is square root of 3 over 2. Then we get square root of 3 over 2 times 1. That's a square root of 3 over 2. Minus 0 times 1 over 2, but that's simply 0, so I'm not even going to bother writing it. Then the next one is a square root of 3 over 2 in the denominator. If you can actually see it, these two are basically the same thing in the top and the bottom, so you can actually say this is 1. But in case that you can't see, or sometimes the numbers are not the same, then this is how you can deal with it. Square root of 3 over 2, then divided by square root of 3 over 2. So this is a square root of 3 over 2 times 2 over square root of 3 because of the division of the fractions. You take the reciprocal and then you times them. So square root of 3, they're the same. We can cancel it. 2 and 2, they're the same. So it can actually become 1. So this is another skill where you actually do need to know. If you guys enjoyed the video and it was helpful, please don't forget to hit the subscribe and the like button. I'll see you guys next.